Cool.
Blessings.
Stop it. She like sticking her hand under there. Under your feet.
Blessings, blessings, blessings. How are you all doing today? How was your day? Thank you for joining us. Tell somebody to come on in with us tonight. She just into everything. Come on and join the discussion tonight. Perhaps you'd like to come on even as our special guest and talk to the people. Share your experience or your wisdom about self-love. We don't know it all. We welcome your opinion, your point of view. Self-love. I'm telling you, to me, you can never talk about it enough because there are. Glad your day was good. I guess our day was relaxing.
Yes.
Something we don't get to do often. When you're talking about self-love, so many people have different definitions of what that is, only because of what they're used to. Some people don't know the true sense of self-love, or either they are made to feel bad because they are big on self-love. Others might call them conceited, stuck up, bougie, all of those statements that go along with defining what you feel somebody is, even when you don't know them. You feel like what they're doing, is putting themselves, as the Bible say, more highly than you ought, when actually it's confidence, and you don't know how long it took them to get that confidence. And now that they're there, they're like, wow, what took me so long to get here? So self-love is very important. Guilty as charged. I just didn't always believe or realize how important self-love was. And then also my definition of it. Like, I didn't even realize that I wasn't considering myself, because I thought me doing things for people and getting such joy out of it, that was self-love. But no, that was projecting that love onto somebody else, not accepting it for yourself. Bless you, Pastor Jessica. Hey, Melissa.
We learned that maybe about 3 weeks ago about self-love is medication. Taking your medicine on the daily, keeping up with yourself, keeping up with your doctor's visits, checking and making sure that everything is okay with your mental. All of that is a part of self-love. self, taking care of yourself, handling yourself, making sure yourself shower, bathing.
Lord God,
all
please
of that
shower.
is a part of self-love, taking care of yourself. Hygiene, all of that is a part of self-love because you love yourself.
And it's not easy. Well, it's not easy. It isn't as easy for some as it is others to practice self-love. Like I said, some people make you feel like because you're now paying more attention to yourself that, you're being stuck up or bougie, overly confident, when in actuality is, just your realization that you deserve the same treatment you give other people. If I can do this much to show you or to help promote love in you, then I have the right to do it for myself and not feel guilty about it. And so I believe that that has been an issue for years, that there are individuals that want to do things. They fight with themselves mentally all the time because they want to do something for themselves, or they want to talk about something that they've accomplished or whatever, and it's always flipped around like, oh, they conceited or they think they better than somebody. Always making you feel like what you feel about yourself, you know you shouldn't. That's it's only meant for other people, and that's just like so not true. And like I said, I didn't always feel this way. I didn't even always know that this way existed. It wasn't that I ever thought that I was more highly than I ought to. I was mainly spending time letting somebody else feel like, they were very important and that they were valuable, and they were pertinent to the actual situations that they're in, or the conversation that they're in, relationship that they're in. You spend so much time doing that for other people, and you don't recognize, right? You don't realize that while you're doing that for them, where are you leaving yourself? You're going down further because you're putting these people on top of you, step by step by step, until you're at the bottom. And then when you go to look up, there's so many people on top of you that you don't even see the light. So self-love is important. What do you guys think about self-love? What do you think?
Some of us don't have self-love because we don't know how to love ourselves. If you know how to love on yourself, then it would be easier to do, but you got to find out who you are first.
And how does one do that? How do you find out who you are?
Taking time out with yourself, going somewhere, spending time by yourself. It really is okay to go out and eat dinner by yourself.
Oh my God, I had such a chore doing that.
Yeah, that was always.
Because I just didn't understand that you could do that, and
you came from.
that you wouldn't look, crazy going out by yourself. For me, sitting in the restaurant by yourself back in the day before I realized what self-love really was, I wouldn't imagine going to a diner or even to the movies.
Probably come back.
Sorry, y'all. Our animals are over here having our pets. I'm gonna call them animals. I'm waiting. What do you guys feel about self-love? We have a lot that we could say, but we want to hear from you too. So. Come on, y'all, talk to us. I'm trying to put this statement up here. Giving you guys time to say something. Let's communicate one with the other. There we go. Self-love is affirming yourself, encouraging yourself, and finding out the things you want to do for yourself. Very good. That's a good definition for self-love. Anybody else out there want to help us? What do you think self-love is? If somebody asked you before this day, what is self-love? What would you have to answer them? How would you even know? Because some of us are still trying to figure that out. Some of us are really still trying to figure that out. When you get in a habit of always doing for others, it's kind of hard trying to figure out what it is. That's an awesome definition, Tanasia. Tika. I had to learn to say I love me before I let a man love.
Before I let a man love me, say I love me. Okay. I mean, say I love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to say I love me before I let a man say he loves me.
Yes.
I believe that's what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be wise for everyone. Unfortunately, it's not. Is more not to happen than is. That's why you hear people saying they got daddy issues and things like that. Those in our lives have been, lacking that male role. Daddy wasn't there. Daddy was there and left. And so now you have abandonment issues and you have daddy issues. And so you're looking for love in all of the wrong places, because rather than you preparing yourself for what's to come, you're out there looking for what was lost. And so a lot of us get hurt because of that very thing. We just want a man in our life to say he loves us. Hey, Apostle, say he loves us, or that, I'm okay, or that you're loved. Many of these young ladies that have fallen into the wrong man's arms, if we really talk about who we've counseled and things like that, is, you find it because somebody finally said, I love you, other than your mother.
Well, other than your father. I think that's where we get confused at, because we're in the arms of a man and it feels good. So we feel that that's love, or because a man say I love you or check on you or buy you something. No, you pamper yourself first before a man do it.
This book that I'm reading, this is what the definition is that they say is self-love. Practicing self-love means learning how to trust ourselves with respect and to be kind and affectionate to ourselves. Blessings, sir. But Apostle said, hi, Mom.
Hey, son.
Practicing self-love means learning how to trust ourselves with respect and to be kind and affectionate to ourselves. And that one line like sticks out to me, because again, I remember that I wanted to be loved. I wanted to have that love. I miss my father died when I was 9 years old, and I just never had anybody that could replace, if that's the right word for lack of better wording, replace him. It was like every time I saw a man, I was looking for my father. And I didn't realize that until it was too late, and then you're just so glad that there's a male factor who's saying you're beautiful and you don't know how nobody could love you, or they play on your ego, your mental, your psyche, making you feel they know the words to say. It's like they can smell your despair or your desire, your vulnerability. And so they tell you everything that you would imagine hearing from your dad, and somebody tell you, oh, they're not good for you. And you're like, oh, you just don't, you're not glad for me. You're just trying to pull me down. And in reality, they saw something that you weren't able to see because you had the blinders on of wanting that male factor to love you. And so coming to the realization that I had to learn how to respect my own self, I had to know how to treat my own self, and many people, marriages dissolve because they went into this marriage with unspoken expectations because you didn't even know how to make you happy. But now you're expecting this person to make you happy, and you haven't been able to tell them what that's going to be.
That's a good thing, unspoken expectations, because how can you expect somebody to do something that you don't do for yourself?
Like, if you don't know that going to a good movie is something you like to do because you've never done it before because you don't like to be alone, how are they supposed to know that if you don't tell them? When you're talking to different people, whether it be co-worker, people you're mentoring or counseling, and you ask them, what is it that this person is doing wrong? And they tell you, well, they didn't do this and they didn't do that. And then when you say, well, did they know that was something you like to do? No. Well, so how can you hold them accountable for something they didn't? That's an unnecessary argument, first of all. And so I believe, and I'll keep on saying it, as I say it to those we counsel, and when we come on here, you need to learn what makes you happy. Take that time to find out what makes you happy. I was that one. I didn't want to go to the movies by myself. I didn't want to go to dinner by myself. I didn't even want to go to the grocery store by myself. I just always wanted to be in the company of somebody. It didn't have to be a male factor. I just didn't like doing things alone. It wasn't until I got well into my 30s that I was like, oh, light bulb, try it. First time was kind of, I was on eggshells basically because everybody looking at me. They wondering why I'm sitting here, everybody else here with somebody. And here I am at a table by myself. There's all kinds of things that go through your mind. And you have to be willing to go past that. Like, I'm not going to get up. I'm not going to leave this. I'm going to sit right here and enjoy this meal. And I had to do it over and over again to make my own self feel comfortable with it, because it would have been easy for me to call certain people and say, hey, come go with me, because that's what I used to do. Come hang out with me, or let's go do this. But this time it was me. It was the appointment I made with myself. We tell people on here all the time, make a date with yourself and don't cancel it, because we make our kids' appointments, we make our kids' games, we make our doctor's appointments. But when it comes to us spending time with ourselves, we find a reason why we can't do it. Oh, this needs to get done. You got 15 minutes that you could spend on yourself. Take that 15 minutes and make that date with yourself, and don't break it. And you will, after time, find that you're longing for, you're getting excited now about that time. And so it's, again, I wasn't always here, so I know what it is. I'm not telling you to do anything that I haven't had to do, we haven't had to do. I mean, even with our friendship, as being besties, we got so used to doing everything together that when that time came when one of us had to do something and the other one wasn't there, we were like, oh my God, this feels strange, but then we found out that sometimes it's just necessary, because even as besties, you need your own time, and so I'm telling you, you need to learn how to respect yourself, because if you don't, they won't. If they find out that they can do this with you and you ain't say nothing, then they're going to try something else until they see how far they could go with doing different things. And you're allowing it. You're allowing the disrespect. You're allowing somebody to infiltrate your peace. You're allowing somebody to make you feel like you don't like. And instead of you saying something, you just keep on sitting there or dummy down, and as we saying, and not allowing yourself to feel like you deserve better. And some of it still goes back to early childhood. Maybe we were told we ain't deserve nothing, or we weren't going to be nothing, or ain't nobody going to, those kinds of things. There are people who came up in that kind of environment, and so it takes a longer time for them to get to the point where they're willing to see if they can handle them own selves. I'd rather be with somebody else and let them make me happy. Well, what happens when they're no longer there to do that? You're put back into this hole, this low place, this dark place, this lonely place. Blessings, woman of God. this lonely place that you've been left to die, so to speak. Because after you finish doing what is necessary to build their ego up, build their self-esteem up, make them happy, they gone on about their way. They don't look back to see if you're all right.
Right.
You know, some people are just leeches. They'll deplete every ounce of your being and never look back. You know, there were
and don't care that they drained you and sucked you dry, and then they went on with their life.
Apostle Speaks says there is peace in self-love. I'm telling you, I had to find it, but it is definitely the truth, Apostle. Definitely the truth. Melissa says self-love is taking good care of your physical health and spiritual health. Spiritual, physical, mental, all of you need taken care of. All of you needs taken care of. If you only view the other segment of you that people will never come to know, because you're not doing the whole thing for yourself. You're doing it for others, just not for yourself. Melissa said, and not harm yourself. Most of us, and I have to keep saying like most of us, because we talk to so many people, and you would be surprised at how many people cannot tell you what is, because when you say, well, what makes you happy? Oh, I like doing people hair because it make them, like my bestie likes to do people hair because she likes to make them feel beautiful. But that doesn't mean that that's what makes her happy, if you understand what I'm saying.
Prayer makes me happy.
Lord God.
That's my alone time. That's my self-care.
2 to 3 hours. See you when you get back.
That's my self-care. Laying in the presence of God, just laying there praying, listening, and hearing what he has to say. That's my quiet time. Sometimes I don't even pray. These last few nights, I've just been laying there listening to worship music and just letting God minister to me.
That's what I say. Show up. Show up.
Sometimes you don't have the words to say, but that's what makes me happy.
It really does, Lord. Tika says, if we learn how to love ourselves first and take care of ourselves, it'll follow in our relationships. It will. But we have to get to that place where we understand and acknowledge that we don't know about self-love. Again, many people who have abandonment issues and low self-esteem issues and things like that is because in the time of life that it mattered the most, when you were growing up, when you were that sponge and you were looking at everybody else and trying to learn, is when you found out that they didn't think you were going to be anything, and they told you were nothing, and they called you stupid, and they called you bad, and they called you ugly, and they called, there were so many things that have been said and done to people before they reached the age 13. Before they reach the age 13. By the time they're 13 and have already been hearing that, now they're starting to act on it because that's what they've been told. Well, this is what they think of me anyway, but self-love is important, and you got to learn how to practice self-love on yourself. And one thing, as women, we have to learn how to put some time aside for us, because we're that nurturer. We're that go-to person. We're the fix-it person. We
were born nurturers.
We're the person that they can talk to. We're the person they can relate to. And then you got to cook breakfast, and then you got to cook dinner, and then you got to go to this appointment, then you got to go. We're the one that is just expected to do all of these things, and we do it. It's like it's second nature, and then when it's time to have that moment to yourself, there's none of you left. You're too exhausted to even enjoy your alone time. You're so exhausted from all that you're doing for others that by the time you even think about you, it's like, just give me some, I just need to go to sleep. And so sleep might be the very thing you need at the moment, but you still have to do
some people go to sleep to ignore what's really going on, because they figure if they sleep, then they don't have to worry about what's going on around me or having that self-care time, or I don't know, it's crazy, but sometimes sleep is all people know how to do.
Because life has just
warm out.
It just wore them out. And then you got the kids running in the room even though you sleep. Mommy! Mommy! Your eyes closed and they still, Mommy! Then after they wake you up, you up? Look. You know, it's just crazy. Self-love. We're laughing and we're trying to help you with it. Hello. When you use for your death. Self-love is important, guys. I can't say it enough. Some of you that are on here with us tonight between the 2 pages, you know, how do you feel? Some of you are talking already, but self-love, how important is it to you? And when did it get that way? Did you always practice self-love? Or did something happen that caused you to start thinking of self-love? Because like for me, like I said, I just like pleasing. And that's what made me happy. So I thought that's what happiness was, because I was making others happy. I was helping other people get what they wanted to get done, putting my visions, my ideas to the back burner still to this day because of time that we've put in pushing other people. And when you think about going back to the back burner to pick up what you left behind there, something else happens and you say, oh, okay, well, it's been there this long. It can wait a little longer. I want to help them do this. I want to help them get off. And then after you get them, you know, set up and off and where they're going, they forget that you were there. They give the credit to someone else, which is very hurtful. But you just have to continue to be you. You can't let what people do change how God made you. Just keep being you. Eventually, it's going to pay off. But self-love is definitely something that we have to. It's imperative. It's essential that you learn how to practice self-love. Right. Does not mean you conceited. Does not mean you're bougie. Does not mean you think more highly of yourself than you ought. It's meaning and finally showing that you acknowledge that in order for me to keep trying to make you happy, I've got to figure out what makes me happy. I've got to spend that time with me so that I can have some fuel left over for you. Many of us are producing, you know, stuff for other people, and we're working on fumes because it's second nature to us to just do for other people. And so we don't think about it. We just do it. We just do it, you know, and then you're just wiped out. And what you thought you were going to do for yourself doesn't take place because, again, you found a reason to put others before you. There's nothing wrong with you coming to a point in your life when you say, you know what? I need to do something for me. If it's nothing but a 15-minute nap, if it's nothing but a nice, good cup of tea and a book, or just sitting at the park, just enjoying nature, you know, anything. It doesn't have to be anything lavish. It's a matter of doing something that you want to do for you when you want to do it. You know, and so I've been telling you all along, guys, you got to make a date for yourself. Just let the people around you know, hey, at such and such a time, on whether you're doing it every day, whether you're doing it every other day, as long as you let those people that you know always call you, hey, around this time each day for the next week or so, I'm going to be doing some me time. And so I won't be able to answer any calls. I won't be able to answer any texts. I'm not mommy. I'm not the employee. I'm not nothing. I am just me. What I need to be to me right now in order for me to continue to be who I am for you. And there's nothing wrong with you doing that. There's nothing wrong with you taking care of yourself. Self-love is important. Self-love helps you have a barometer of where you are in any relationship with anybody, whether it be your best friend, whether it be your male friend, whether it be your husband, your wife. There's a place, a boundary that needs to be set within yourself for you, because if you're like me, I just, because my kids will always say this to me, well, Mom, when you gonna start? I love doing things for other people. So it was hard for me to start saying no. I had to learn that it was okay to say no and mean it, and so once I learned that, man, it got a lot easier, but it was getting to that point, the ability to say no and mean it, and not let people make you feel bad because this is not something you want to do right now. I'm studying, whether it be for online school or for any type of things that I'm doing on my own, and you want to go to the mall, and you want me to come take you to the mall, and I'm saying no, I gotta study, and then they say, but come on, it's not going to take you that long. Come on, you can always study. And then you still, knowing that you're not going to want to get back into this zone right here, you still go and do what they want to do. And now they've got accomplished what they wanted, which was for you to take them to the mall. And now you're left behind. You're left behind. Who has control of that now? And this is something that we're trying to let you know, that you do have control of your life, believe it or not.
Yes, you do.
Believe it or not.
Yes, you do.
Sometimes it takes something to happen to make you realize that I probably should have stuck to my no. I probably should have stuck to my no. I shouldn't have let them convince me. When I was in my psychology class, you got up and still didn't get the pillow?
I'm going to listen. I'll come back on the phone.
My psychology class, to help us understand that no really meant no. We're not doing this right now. We're not doing this right now. I'm not going to the store. I got to do this, maybe another time. It's okay to say no, guys. It's okay. And so, thank you, guys. I'm loving your statements. Self-love. Self-love is something that is vital. Your self-worth. How important to you are you, to yourself? Is it that much more important to you to make sure everybody else is happy and then you're left to deal with your own thoughts? Or is it better for you to acknowledge where you are and say, I can't do this right now, and then continue in what you were doing and not feel guilty for not participating in that particular thing at that time? You are just as important as the next thing. And it took, like I said, years. I'll tell anybody, I just get great joy out of making people happy. I sing songs on people's lines just to encourage them. I write little notes, or, something that we do or we make that we sell, we'll give to someone because we want them to know how important they are. If nobody else says that they love you, we are one of those people who will do so, and mean it, But again, there comes a time when you must consider yourself. You're going to be on burnout, and they going to still be on about their business. And you're truly burnt out, like mentally exhausted, like I'm no good to anybody or myself. I just need to just lay here. It's just something that you have to practice. It's not something that just happens. It's a discipline thing. We make sure we get to work on time, because we know if we don't get to work on time, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get docked. I'm going to get fussed at in front of other employees, and then I got to bite my tongue because it's my boss and all this stuff like that. And when you really just got to take that same attitude with making sure you're on time for yourself. So I make appointments for myself. During that time, I'm either doing diamond painting or jigsaw puzzles, or mixing my oils that I sell, or making the jewelry something that is for me. I'm doing it for my purpose. I do that. and it helps. It helps. It doesn't wipe everything away, but it definitely helps you to remember that what you want to do is important and it has value as well. Not just what you do for other people, but doing something for yourself. Shopping for yourself. I mean, most of my life I shopped for my kids, my mother, their friends, and now at this time of life, I'm finally finding where, hey, it's okay.
Shop for you.
Shop for me. I don't do it that often, I don't spend as much on myself as I do on others, but I do find that time to make me feel okay about me. Hey, Al, I love you. So yeah, self-love. Self-love. I can't talk about it enough. I've been reading this book on self-love, and I mean, some of the stuff they say, I'm like, wow. And so we tell people, we have, Apostle and I, when we counsel people, we tell them about self-love and self-care. Apostle makes these self-love boxes that has like different, scriptures for uplifting you, some facial stuff, like just self-love stuff. And we have like affirmations that we say, to each other, or affirmations when we go to our store. I have affirmations posted up on the wall so that no matter where we are in the store, there's something affirming who we are, our strength, our courage, our stability, our intellectuality, with our who we are ancestors of, and so we do that and we promote it to other people because some folk just don't know how to start or where to start. So we have these self-love boxes. Depending on what's in them, they can range anywhere from $25 to $45. Depends on how many items we have in the box. But we have affirmations and the face masks and the facials and the smell goods and the aromatherapy, just things to let you know that you're important, and when you're feeling at your lowest, you could turn to that box and see that there's something in there to remind you that you are as important to this world as anybody else. I have the church say this little saying when they remember, which is, today is going to be a good day just because of who I am and what I have to offer it. And when you go on with that and hold on to that, like believe it, like say it until you convince yourself, because just like you wake up in the morning and you're not feeling all that and you're already saying, I hope nobody don't say nothing to me at the office and da 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 da. Just like you can do that, you can do the same thing with the positive and determine that your day is going to be positive no matter what. Does it mean that things won't happen? No, but it does mean that your mindset is at a place where you won't let it ruin your day or take away from who you are, because there are others watching you, whether you know it or not. And so because of who you are, that light can't be dimmed just because you're frustrated. It can't be dimmed just because you don't like what's happening. So self-love is taking care of yourself to the point where positivity is the main thing that flows out of you. Positivity. And what do I mean by that? The scripture in 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, in everything you ought to give God thanks, for this is the will of him concerning you in Christ Jesus, which means that good, bad, and ugly, we're still supposed to find a way to be thankful. And the last thing you want to do is say you're thankful and you got a frown on your face, or say that you're thankful and you cussing everybody out, or say that you're thankful and the least thing somebody does, to you aggravates you or pushes you over the edge. There's something about that that's not matching up with it being a great day and you having control over that. Doesn't mean, again, that negative things won't happen, but your part in it, how you respond to it, not react, how you respond to it, will help you continue to go throughout your day, not letting it change who you are with other people, being real, holding on to that smile, having those good things to say when you're walking around somebody. Sometimes you're the only smile that people see. So what happens to the day when you don't feel like smiling? Because it happens. It happens, but realize that even though it happens, that you don't have to make everybody suffer for it. Self-love. Self-love is keeping yourself in a mind of peace. It says he'll keep those in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on him. So as long as you are considering the proper thoughts, somehow that can help you through the rest of your day. May bring you home mighty tired because of things that you had to internalize. Oftentimes, I say to my bestie, I'm like, I think I just got punked. Because people think that because you have a better way, or you're not aggressive, or you smile, or you just let things roll off. They think that that's who you really are, and not realizing that there's a reason why it's rolling off, and maybe one day it might not be a good day. We all have those moments. None of us are perfect. That's why the Bible says, for we all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. If you still alive, baby, that means you still got work. You still got work, because he would have taken you out if you were perfect. Everything that was perfect, he took them right on up with him. They walked with him and they were gone. And so as long as we're still here, we got some stuff we got to deal with. Until we all get it together, I refuse to be left behind. I don't want to be left behind for nothing. When he come in rapture, that's how I want to go. I don't want to go because there's a bullet. I don't want to go because there's a stroke. I want to go because God thought enough of me to let me live to see the rapture. And the only way I'm going to do that is if I learn how to do what the word says, love my neighbor as myself. Is that easy? No. For some, yes. For many, no. Because not everybody has gotten over the different dysfunctions that they've experienced in their lives. Some people are ashamed of where they come from. They're ashamed of things that they don't know. They're afraid to let people know their shortcomings because they feel like it's going to be exposed. And for some, it's truth in that you trusted somebody and they violated that. And so now it has you at a place where you don't know who to trust. And so rather than try to figure it out, you just keep everything to yourself. That's dying a slow death, because you can only internalize so much, then you start getting sick. And so you need to know that these emotions that you experience are tied to your health. Ask any physician. There's certain parts of your body that are responding to the negative in your life, things you internalize and hold on to. Self-love, self-care, something we all need. Journaling. I'm real big on journaling. God knows I am. Journaling. Journaling allows you to free yourself in a space that nobody else can see. Journaling allows you to get up out of you those things that are burdening you, those things that have hurt you, those times you felt violated. Journaling gives you an opportunity to deal with emotions that you may not have been able to deal with in your past, because when things happened to you and you told people, they didn't believe you, or when things happened to you, you were told, if you lived in a home like mine, that what happens in my house better stay in my house. And so there were other times that if something was wrong and you told someone, instead of giving you a solution or a suggestion, it was just pray over it. And so journaling allows you to deal with the anger or the rage, whatever emotion you did not get a chance to express because it wasn't allowed. Journaling allows you to feel those things while you're writing. While you're writing, I tell people all the time, if the tears start falling, let the tears hit the page, so that when you go back and you read over that, you can see how far you've come, how much you've let go of. gives you a thermometer of how far you've come and where you need to go. Journaling was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Just having the freedom of saying what I feel and nobody here to tell me that I don't have a right to it, because it's my journal. It's my thoughts about my trials, about my violations. Everything that I'm journaling is in my book, and it's between me and God, unless I choose to share with someone else. But in the meantime, it's getting it up off of me so that I can be free. I can't tell you to do something that I haven't tried to do. It doesn't work as quickly for others, but for the most part, even when you go to therapy, that's what they suggest. So I was right on target. Jesus and therapy works for me. Let me read you something out of this book. What is self-love? Self-love is the fuel that allows an individual to reach their full potential and is filled with compassion, grace, and gentleness. Self-love is learning to extend kindness toward yourself, even when you struggle and suffer. It is extending forgiveness to ourselves when we make mistakes. Self-love means prioritizing ourselves and giving ourselves permission to find and believe in our strengths and gifts. Sometimes it means putting ourselves first. Sometimes it means making space to identify our needs and wants. It involves setting boundaries, and setting boundaries involves self-love. These are two concepts that work together. That blessed my whole life. Reading this book has been blessing me, and I'm going to share with you as it helps me, because I'm an ever learning student. I feel like I have a lot to learn from other people, those younger than me. Yes, God has gifted me with wisdom, but wisdom enough to know that there's still more to learn. And I remain open. And so I say to you, we're transparent here. We're not judges. There's no condemnation here. We are free, as long as things are done respectful. We are free. We are here to help one another. As people are commenting, they're responding to something that has already been seen in the thread that someone else said. And that's why we're here, to network and help one another. Perhaps somebody online has been through where you are, and this is how they got out of it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you, but it is a way for you to consider, that if it worked for them, it might work for you. All right. So we try not to stay on too long each night. But self-love, I want you to understand that self-love is essential. It is imperative that you find a way to practice self-love and self-care, for you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve to be loved. And sometimes you have to love yourself. If you're not receiving it in the way that you feel you should, David had to encourage himself. So should you. Go out to dinner by yourself. Go to a movie by yourself. So you can let yourself know that you don't need to have others to make you happy. It's a good thing when you do have them, but it's not something you have to have in order for you to be happy. When God created you, He created you uniquely. So be that unique you. My bestie's coming to have last words, and we're going to say goodnight. Join us next week as we continue to tell you how much you should love on yourself.
Hello, guys. So look on my page. We are promoting the self-care boxes again. They are going for $50. Have a self-care day. This box is for you. Put the kids to bed. Put the husband away.
Put the husband away.
Put the husband away. Put him on the couch. Say, I'm going to have a self-care day for myself. There's a lot of good things in there.
Don't y'all put your husband away.
Put him on the couch. Hey, niece. Hey to everyone. Hey, nephew. To everyone that has joined us tonight, we say thank you. We are excited about teaching on self-love. It is important. Never let someone else have to say that they love you in order to feel love. Love on you first. Remember, self-care is taking care of yourself. So this is what we are promoting in this hour. So go look on my page and support us. A portion of what we raise will go to Loving the Me I See. So go on there and support us. Tell somebody, if you don't want the box, buy it for someone else. All right. We love you guys. Have a good night. And as always, remember our founder in your prayer. Father, we thank you and we praise you for this night, this time of self-care, this time of pampering ourselves, loving on ourselves, loving one another. Father, we ask that you will be with us, oh God, as we continue to learn how to love ourselves. Remember and bless Apostle Army as our prayer always. We thank you and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. Have a good night, everyone. If you are not busy on Saturday, join us at 506-08 16th Avenue, 18th Avenue in the city of Newark, New Jersey, where we will be having our fifth Saturday service, which would have been on a Sunday, but we have them on Saturdays because so many people are doing services on Sunday. So meet us Saturday if you are not busy for our fellowship service. And my best friend, Pastor Jason Rogers, will be the preacher of the hour. We love you all. Have a good night and be blessed.
You ain't telling me nothing. It's not just your fellowship service. This is called bridging the gap between leaders. This is a time of pouring back into leadership. And so if you're a leader and you want to be fed, you want to go to a service where you don't necessarily have to do anything except show up to be fed, this is the service you want to come to. We do it every fifth Saturday because we tried on Sundays, but everybody does fellowship services on fifth Sunday. And so I didn't want my bestie to lay that gift down. So we're going to do it on fifth Saturdays. And so meet us at Sardis Temple in the city of Newark at 5:00 p.m. We'll be glad to have you, and we're sure you'll be glad that you came. We love you until such time we meet again.